What's up, guys? CryptoSavy here. Welcome to the channel where you subscribe to get daily updates every single day on Bitcoin, Litecoin, and Ethereum. We're going to be taking a look at the charts and seeing what's happening here. Is there going to be a huge move still this weekend, or will we keep going sideways? We'll talk about that. Don't forget, we have a free Discord group in the description below the video. Definitely check it out, and let's get on with it. All right, guys, as always, it's not financial advice, trading advice, investment advice, none of that. Disclaimer scrolling on the bottom. Make sure you read it. And always remember, this is my opinion, not yours. And welcome to the channel where I give you both sides and then I tell you what I believe. And that's not saying it's going to happen, but I'm not like the other channels. I'm not just going to give you a moon boy scenario or just a bearish scenario or both and then claim tomorrow that I called it. Anyway, welcome to the real channel. Let's look at the Bitcoin news headlines, get a feel for the sentiment. Bitcoin price, why today's weekly close is crucial to avoid. They're saying 9,300 is the area to close above. We'll talk about my areas I'm looking at, and let's look. As Bitcoin struggles, we read that one yesterday. Russia proposes law that criminalizes buying Bitcoin. Bearish. Bitcoin worth 282,000 from 2016. Bitfinex hack on the move. Bitcoin investment app CEO calls Bitcoin a monetary revolution. Bitcoin shocking energy consumption. Spiritual reflections. There's a lot of bullish news about, big investors, big companies investing in Bitcoin. Usually when you start hearing that stuff, it's extremely bearish, in my opinion. That just means they're about to dump on all the people they're talking to buying. But that's my opinion. So anyways, fear and greed index, we're at 43. We raised 3 points from yesterday, still in the fear. And I want to remind you guys, the 4-hour gap I'm looking at, 35.70. I'm not saying it's going to go there. I am saying it's definitely a possibility, and I have other things showing that it's possible. We'll take a look at it. And let's look at our trend lines here. We have the 93.40 and the 85.57. This is the monthly chart. A close above that, bullish, close in the middle, neutral, close below, bearish, very bearish. Don't forget to check out my wife's webpage, inkyourimage.com. It's in the description below. A lot of cool crypto stuff in there. You can put anything you want, any crypto, not just the stuff you see. Just hit her up in contact, let her know. And let's look at the weekly. So this is the hopium line here. This top of this falling broadening wedge, which it seemed to be. We have dropped below it now. These two candles on the weekly are looking extremely bearish. If it closes down here around if we close below 9,100 on the weekly, bearish. We're going to take a look at the RSI also, but we'll take a look at these trend lines down here. If you look at these trend lines, I have a target of 45.57 on the bottom of this trend line. Then we have the longer term trend line, 2016. These are not guaranteed, guys. These are just things I'm looking at. We'll look more into the price here in a minute. $1,000 Bitcoin, absolute worst case scenario. Let's look at the RSI. So this is the RSI we've been watching. We talked about popping out of this channel and coming back down to retest on the weekly. So if we close down here and don't drop below this, if we close above this, we can get a nice bounce and continue up. That's the RSI. Those of you that watch my channel know that I am a firm believer in the RSI as the best, only true indicator. All right, so we're getting a little drop this morning. As you guys know, I've been pretty bearish. If we break this bottom trend line here at 8,900, if that's to break, all bets are off for all the moon boys. We're going down. And my opinion is 8,500 would be my first stop, first support, and we may pop back up, retest the bottom of this before coming down. Again, guys, this is if we break. In the bullish case scenario, I'll go back over to here. Bullish case scenario would be looking at this as a falling broadening wedge, and if we take a measured move of that, it gets around 16,000. But guys, on the weekly, we would have to pass 10,460. Next week, it would go down to about 10,350. But as of right now, that is the key number. If we break that, we're bullish. I don't even think we would have to close anything above it, just a wick to it and above this top trend line. I make the trend lines off the wicks, not off the bodies like most people, because then it looks like it wicked through or whatever. The wicks are the most important in my opinion. Back over to here. I'm going to show you guys that are new to the channel. We were looking at this rising broadening wedge a long time ago, calling a break of this, and when it broke, obviously you see what happened. Looked like we tried to retest it here, didn't quite get it. Could we still come up and retest it? Possibly. It is the weekend. Crazier things have happened. But this is the key area to watch, guys. The break of this around 8,900. So that's what I'm watching as of right now. Next support after that is the 0.236 fib, 8628. And like I said, if we break the 88, we're most likely going to continue down. The 55 EMA lines up with the 8,500, which has been support and resistance for a long time. 200 EMA is sitting about 8,200. We do have the 7,700 target, which is the 0.382 fib, which has been support and resistance for a long time. That has been an important number. If that was the break, we're going down to lower lows. My area I'm watching is the 6223, and I showed you that gap, and I'll show you how another way to get to that. If we take the Fibonacci extension and bring it from up here at this swing high up here, go to the swing low down here, and back up to the swing high is how you would measure like an ABC correction in Elliott Wave. Of course, you guys know I used to use Elliott Wave. I don't use it for trading. I think it's, the Fibonacci's are great, but Elliott Wave is just too subjective. I think it's actual, there's times when I guess you could use it on a clear count, but 90% of the time it's not a clear count. If you watch the Elliott Wavers, they're always like, I don't know, today this is unclear. This wave doesn't make sense, blah, blah, blah. So anyways, back onto here, enough of the rant. 3446 is where the 1-to-1 extension goes. So that's definitely possible. We go down, close that 4-hour gap. People say because it's a 4-hour gap, it doesn't need to close. I haven't found one 4-hour gap that hasn't closed. So just like I said, I'm not a gap person. I'm not saying it has to at all. I'm just pointing it out, something to watch for. I know everybody's getting really bullish, which they may be right. I may be wrong, but I am still bearish. I've also had people saying on the daily, here it is, we've had hidden bullish divergence right here, where we had a lower low or a higher low in the price, lower low in the RSI, which is true. But zoom out. If we go from this peak here, right over here, let me get this down so you can see it. We go from this peak right here, right? That's a higher high in the RSI. If we go back all the way over here, so that little one really doesn't matter. We go way back over here, that is major hidden bearish divergence, and I think that is what is about to start playing out. The EMAs are turning over, the EMAs are turning over bearish here. Guys, if this line doesn't hold here, it's going to get ugly. Another thing we've been watching on the daily RSI, as you can see, we had this rising broadening wedge that I said a close below it would be bearish. We have closed below it. It's possible we could get a little rally, come up, retest the top of this in the daily, and then back down. But regardless, it's bearish. I think we're headed down to at least retest this bottom trend line of the rising channel here. Again, guys, my opinion, not yours. Bullish case is we pop back above the 55 EMA and close, at least on the 4-hour at 93.22. If we can do that, we could be looking bullish here if we can get support on top of the 55 EMA. Other than that, still looking bearish, guys, in my opinion. Let's see. Let's look at the RSI in the 4-hour. And then we'll go on to Litecoin and then Bitcoin. We were looking at this as a falling wedge, broke down below it, came back up, have tested it for support twice and got rejected. Or, I'm sorry, tested it for resistance and did get rejected and continuing down now. Most likely we may get a bounce when we hit this trend line here, which would match up perfectly with our 8,900 to 8,950 range. I would expect maybe a bounce there. If that doesn't bounce, it's going to get real ugly real fast. All right, Litecoin. Litecoin has dropped out of, And Litecoin and Ethereum both have been doing this for a while. It creates what looks like it's going to be a bull flag up here and gets rejected, falls out the bottom. There's a lot of different ways you could take the measured moves from here. If it would have broke up, measured move would have been around 46 something, which it didn't. As of right now, the measured move is about $42. And then we have this major support at 41 if this was to break down to our lower lows. One more thing I want to point out in Bitcoin is what makes a lot of sense here going down to this. If we did go down to this 3,400, that would be a great stop point for anyone that went long here with their stops down here. It would have eaten it up. And the same thing would happen in Litecoin if it was to follow Bitcoin. It could go as low as the $22 range again, which would be a great place for a stop point. But we do have the 34.96, which I think is at least where we're headed to, which is the golden pocket zone, the retracement of this swing low to swing high. Between 34 and 35 would be between the 0.65 and a 0.618, which is the golden retracement zone. If we are able to pop up above this blue line in Litecoin, and if we did that in the next couple days, we'll be around $47. Then we might be looking bullish there. Other than that, still looking bearish. This obviously is a holiday weekend. I'm zipping through this kind of quick, guys. I do want to remind you, I'll leave a Prime XBT tutorial up top if you are interested in trading. Just be aware, trading is extremely dangerous, and just don't put in more than you're willing to lose. Don't do super high leverage. Don't get crazy. If you are gonna, practice first on maybe, a fake exchange or whatnot before you start going in, and then start with very little amounts of money. And yeah, but anyway, if you do use the Prime XBT, my Prime XBT link, and then use Savy50 as a promo code, you get 50% bonus on top of whatever you deposit up to 1 Bitcoin. Savy25 gets you 25% off all trading fees. I also have other affiliate links down below that really help the channel out if you guys want to help out, and it's stuff you use anyway. I have two more. I have Dudex and Bybit links down there that also give you. It depends. I use all three of them, so I'm not. I used to have a Femex. I used to have a Kraken, whatever. Once I realized those exchanges are junk, I quit using them. And the three that I use as of right now are down below. So, all right. As of right now, Ethereum on the 4 hour is getting rejected at the 55. We have a target down here, 0.236 of 194, which if we do get down there, I would expect to bounce. Same thing. Ethereum has been doing this a lot. I'll point it out real quick. As you can see here, it looked like a bull flag, drop down. Right here, it looked like a bull flag, drop down. Right here, looked like a bull flag, drop down. The 200 EMA is around 197.90. We could be heading to that range. Let's look at the RSI. We were looking at this as a rising wedge. We dropped out of it. And as you can see, continuing down from here, a rally up would get us up to retest this. And again, it's a weekend. We may see some stupid rallies that are going to fake people out, get people bullish, take their money. Welcome to Bitcoin. Anyways, if you're playing with emotion, you can get yourself in serious trouble. But the measured move, if this would have broke up, just to show you, would have lined up perfectly with the 0.618, or I'm sorry, the 0.65, which would have been 2020. But we broke down, so that lines up with the target of 195. I would expect to bounce there if we get down there, guys. But like we said, Bitcoin is key here. If we drop out of the bottom of this rising wedge, I'll zoom in. That's probably pretty small for you guys. If we break out of the bottom of this rising wedge, guys, it's going to get ugly. Anyways, thanks for watching. Don't forget to click the CryptoSavy logo above my head to get you subscribed to the channel. Tick the notification bell. Hit the all button after you hit the bell to make sure you get notified. YouTube's not the best at notifying people. And hit the like button. Leave your comments down below. Share the video if you enjoyed it. And I'm out.